Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of my TooManyGames 2019 haul. I did cover most of what I bought in the first video, but there are a couple more things that I bought that I thought you guys might be interested in seeing. The only things I've really got left are my t-shirts and some of the posters that I bought, so I'm gonna stand up and back away so that you guys can get a good look at my t-shirts, and I will show you those first. So I already kind of talked about my Resident Evil tank top, but if you just want to have a better look at it, it's just the umbrella logo with Resident Evil on the bottom. It's pretty plain, but again, I wear tank tops a lot, so it'll get a lot of use. And the other t-shirts I bought are all Resident Evil. They had, I think, about 7 or 8 for me to choose from, and I ended up getting 3 different t-shirts. So this one here is another umbrella related t-shirt. It says welcome to Raccoon City, home of Umbrella Corporation. They had a lot of selection and I wanted to get a couple of different t-shirts. I didn't want to just go for all the t-shirts that have Leon on them, even though it's tempting. I wanted to kind of showcase a bunch of different parts of Resident Evil. So that's the first one. And then the second one I bought is representing the first Resident Evil. Of course, we have a very nice illustration of Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield on the front here. So we go from Umbrella to the first Resident Evil game, which also showcases some of the characters, which I quite like. That's a really nice t-shirt. And I liked this one over the other Resident Evil t-shirt that they had, which was just the box art of the original Resident Evil. And then the third t-shirt I bought was a Stars t-shirt. So again, this is more kind of showcasing the first game a little bit, but it also showcases the second game, because we're talking about the Raccoon Police Department, which of course was the setting of some of Resident Evil 2. So I grabbed a selection of different characters, different games, different corporations, and I was really, really pleased to see all of this different Resident Evil merchandise. So I got 3 t-shirts and a tank top, and then I also have my TooManyGames t-shirt. Now this came with my badge, so this was waiting for me. I usually get a t-shirt every single year that I go. It's one of the kind of memorial pieces that I enjoy bringing home with me from the con. The only thing I don't like about the t-shirts is that it never has the year on it. Nowhere on here is the year showcased. Whereas some of the other t-shirts that I've gotten from PAX East and MagFest, KatsuCon as well, sometimes they'll have the year on it, so at least I'll remember what year it was that I went to the con. I'm back. Sorry, I know it was probably weird to just hear me talking behind some t-shirts, but in the last couple of years, I've kind of stopped buying t-shirts at cons because I don't tend to wear t-shirts a lot. I pretty much almost exclusively wear tank tops and then like a hoodie over top. But I really couldn't help myself just because I love Resident Evil so much, and you guys know this, I've talked about it enough, I don't need to go into it. But it is a series that I just love so much, and I've been going to cons for years now, and it was really hard to find any kind of merchandise. Clothing is probably the most common thing that I see, but figurines are still really hard to come by, and I don't think I've ever in my life seen a Resident Evil plush of any kind. You will see people cosplaying Resident Evil. People who really like Resident Evil are really into it, I find. The fandom is there, but in the mainstream, I didn't find it to be as common. But now I'm finding it's kind of resurfacing, and it's kind of had life breathed into it because of Resident Evil 7, and then of course the absolutely amazing remake of Resident Evil 2 that came out at the beginning of this year. But we're also seeing the older games being remade having HD collection ports, and you can now get it on every single system. They're no longer exclusive, they no longer have tank controls, and I think they kind of appeal to a wider audience now than they ever have before. So those are just pieces that I really wanted to pick up as part of my Resident Evil collection that I have, and that is something I also want to do a separate video for you guys on sometime. I want to just get all the Resident Evil stuff that I own and show you guys, because I do have quite the collection of stuff. So I didn't really see anything else except for the couple of shirts I found. But it was still really, really nice. Like I said, there was a really big selection that I didn't buy. And I'm hoping that as time goes on and I continue to go to cons, and if they keep making games, it will kind of stay on the forefront and it will be more common. You can find a lot of the games out there, but aside from games and the occasional t-shirt, it can be really hard to find Resident Evil merchandise for a reasonable price. So that's why I picked those t-shirts up, and I'm very happy about that, and hopefully I'll have the opportunity to wear those around. So my final piece of merchandise that I want to share with you guys are my posters. I have to hold myself back every single year from all the posters that I buy. I just don't have the wall space anymore. Most of my walls are plastered in posters. I have more posters than I have wall space for. And when you go to these cons, there are so many posters available and so many amazing, talented artists who draw all of these beloved characters and things that we love, and they just make them look absolutely fantastic. And it just takes your breath away. You just think, I want to get a poster of that. I want to hang that up in my house. That just exceeds my expectations, and it just looks absolutely amazing. So I wasn't planning on buying posters when I got there, and I still didn't buy that many, but there was a vendor selling them for fairly cheap, so I picked up a couple, and I also got my TooManyGames poster. Just like with my t-shirt, I always pick up a poster every single year. And I have a separate section on my wall for all of my different con posters. So these are still kind of rolled up. I haven't flattened them out completely yet because they were rolled up in my suitcase for traveling. But I'll show you what I got. So the first one is a Resident Evil 4 poster. Now this is my fourth Leon poster. I probably have enough to plaster a wall just with him. I was looking for other Resident Evil posters, but I feel like Leon's really kind of almost the poster child of Resident Evil. I kind of feel like 4 was when people started to notice it who hadn't played the older games. And so Resident Evil 4 is like the most common and most easiest thing to find, I find, and it's probably the one that most people identify most with. It, like if they don't play it or they don't know much about it, they will probably know what Resident Evil 4 is at the very least. So this was the only Resident Evil poster I managed to find at the con, so I decided to pick it up. And my other 3 posters that I bought are all Zelda posters. I have a Zelda room in my house, nerd alert. And I do have too many Zelda posters. I have more Zelda posters than I have wall space, but I do like to periodically change the posters out just to give my room kind of a different look to it. So what I ended up doing was just buying different posters from the different games that I saw. So this is a Majora's Mask poster. Again, it's got all the children on the moon, and I do believe that that is Fierce Deity Link with Majora's Mask on the top. So this is kind of reminiscent of the finale of Majora's Mask. Beautiful colors, and I just really, really like that poster. Very, very dark. These go really, really well with my Twilight Princess posters because they're both kind of darker games. And so if I want to theme the room, I want to change the posters and give it have the darker games or darker colors. That is definitely going to be a really, really nice choice. I also bought this one from Ocarina of Time. This is more like a it's almost like a title poster. I know this is not like what is on the game cartridge or the title screen of Ocarina of Time, but like it has the Nintendo logos on it and things like that. It's just young Link putting the Master Sword into the pedestal. I have a lot of Ocarina of Time posters. I could probably make one side of my Zelda room just Ocarina of Time posters. So again, this is just a smaller poster that I can kind of tuck somewhere, or I can theme it around the other Ocarina of Time posters that I have. And then finally, the last poster that I grabbed for Zelda was Breath of the Wild, which again, this is more of a title screen poster rather than being something that's really artistic like the Majora's Mask poster. I don't have a lot of Breath of the Wild stuff. I have the amiibos. But I really like, again, the nice bright colors from Breath of the Wild, and it pairs really, really nicely with the bright colors of the Wind Waker, for example. So I'm kind of getting a couple more posters from Breath of the Wild and some more kind of merchandise just to go with the rest of the stuff that I have. So these were all at the same stand, and so I got a really good deal. I think they were selling like a package of 3 or 4, which is how I bought them. I just picked the ones I wanted and bought them. I didn't pay a lot for these. They've got a nice gloss on them, and hopefully I'll be able to find a place for them. Like I said, I have way too many Zelda posters. When I bought them, I knew I didn't need them, but sometimes you just kind of have to spoil yourself, and posters can be changed, so I can always change them. And then this is my con poster. So obviously this year's theme was Animal Crossing. I think when I went in 2015, the theme was Earthbound. So this one actually has the date on it, which I like. The t-shirt does not, but what I like about the posters is that they have the date on them. And then this just has the guest list on it. So there were some really cool guests this year. We had AVGN, Boogie, Chugga Conroy, Epic Rap Battles of History was there, Pat the NES Punk, you've got the Runaway Guys, and many, many, many more. So again, this will go on my wall, my large wall of all the con posters of all the different cons that I've gone to, and it's always a really good reminder just to see how things change every single year, like how the guest list changes and how the themes and things like that change, and what they've decided to do. Usually with each of these cons every single year, they will pick a theme and they will theme the merchandise after it. Magfest is the same thing. And then I also picked up a TooManyGames pin. Now again, the year is not on this, but it is once again sticking to the Animal Crossing theme. And I have a scarf, a large scarf that I put pins onto, and I do believe that I have pins from previous cons as well. And this was something I think that actually came with my badge as well. So some of this con merchandise was free, kind of with the money I paid for my badge and stuff like that, which was really nice. And I had a great time. Like I said, I got a wide variety of stuff this year. I got some games, I got some stuff to add to my collection, I got some clothes, some posters. Really, really happy with the amount of stuff that I was able to find. And I'll talk a bit more about my experiences at the con in another video, but I had a blast. Like I said, probably my favorite con. I've been twice, and I'll definitely want to go again, just because so much of it is related to just video games, and I feel totally in my element when I'm there. So now that I've shown you guys all this stuff, I can go ahead and start putting it away. I was keeping it in my suitcase just to have it all together for this video. And again, if you guys have any comments, if you have questions or anything like that, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed this haul video. It's been a couple of years since I've done one. And take care, guys. Obviously, I won't do one of these again until the next time I go to a con. But it's always fun, and sometimes it's fun just to do these different types of videos and to interact with you guys. You can actually see me and whatnot. So until next time, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.